can't just pot this one. You need to be careful where the white ends up.
Yeah, not up and down tables, not really an option. With that same yellow being there. He's gonna hurry up. Oh, he got it! Did he get on the black? Yes, he did. Bang, in she goes!
It'd be nice to see a great finish from here. Pull it off. Ah ha ha ha, magic!
See what he does here, but it might be a double in fact. It looks like he's going to have a go at this. He's going for the middle pocket. Have a look at this, folks. What a shot that is.
Middle there.
If it were on in the middle, he wouldn't be asking him to play again. Double. This could be a brilliant shot. Oh, it is a brilliant shot. Don't ask that man to play again. Depends on the situation of the game. If it's just a normal shot, if you hit your ball first and pot your opponent's ball, oh, what a shot that is. Not so rudely interrupted there.
Oh, wow, what a shot.
And he got on the face.
Oh, wow. What
Look at this. That's a grin on his face.
What a shot. That would almost be the shot of the tournament so far.
Oh, definitely. I still don't like the sound of my own voice played back.
No, not many of us do, John, but you do a great job for the game.
This time he was trying to do it.
What a shot. Shot of the tournament. Shot off the tournament right there.
Oh, have some of that.
Yep, make sure of it, Taro says.
So is he looking at going around the table here, or
Yep,
is he
he's
looking
gonna have to.
or is he looking for a double?
I think he's going around. Yeah, I don't think
Gonna
he's
try and get into
my
it.
God, what
Wow.
a shot! It's pretty bloody good, folks.
Very close match. It got to about 10 all. It had been tit for tat from 7 all, 7-8 around the interval, and then Adam turned it on the home stretch right at the right time to take out the last few frames.
Lovely shot there from Baden. Simon's got a few choices to make with this. He looks like he might be trying to play this as a safety shot here. Oh no, he's going to cut it down the rail. Oh yes! That's yummy.
Yep.
Okay then, so last chance saloon once again. Loser is out. Winner goes through to tomorrow and plays in the quarterfinals. So this is effectively the last 12, as Simon was describing before.
Yeah.
Simon's just come back into the room to join me once again. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, what a match this is.
Again, we saw a bit of Adam Shaw just before, and then saw Healy yesterday. I mean, you know what to expect, don't you? I mean, high octane, a lot of attacking. Well, both of these guys are attacking players by nature, so I mean, you're not expecting too much safety. So, I mean, we should be in for an absolute treat here.
Yeah, a lot on the line as well. With the, these guys were both part of the test team last year for the Trans-Tasman Test match, and the loser of this match will not make it to the final day. So, not sure the exact situation with the points, but big game for more reasons than just today.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that, to be fair, in terms of how it all works for the Trans-Tasman selection, because remember, that's coming up in 2.5 months, and I mean, I'm excited as anything for that. I mean, that's going to be amazing. I reckon this is finally a year that I know it's only the second year, but this is a year we can really stick it to Australia.
Hope so, yeah. It'll be good. Yeah, I think that's going to be in the Richmond club as well in Christchurch. So
That very room, I believe.
Wait for more details to be released on that. Bit of a pause here. Not sure what's going on. We'll flick over. So Adam Shaw at the table. Big break. Taking the red to the middle.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I think he is okay.
I think
yeah.
that goes. Yes. Side view, well done. Yes, it goes.
Still has the problem of the red next to the black.
I think they're just looking to get the shark rack removed. This is where I would just trust to actually lift the ball up and place it.
But it is a bit of a trick. It is a I mean, Adam will be happy to do that. He's a bit more of a stickler for the rules, but
well, we had an issue with the shot. Remember last year's quarter-final at the CNZ Nationals? You remember that? A lot of that was due to the shark rack when he was playing against Brett DeFario. He's probably a little bit gun-shy of that sort of thing happening again.
Yeah, but the other reason here is you want to make sure that heat's in the right place because of obviously the situation with that red. It's going to be tricky at some stage. Not sure that the history between these two. I know that they were involved in what went to a what do we call it? Like a penalty shootout at the Champion of Champions last year. I think they drew each other in the first round. So
they ended up with a black ball shootout.
Yeah, black ball shootout. Yeah, so it was we were playing best of five, and then best of 5 sets, and they were locked at 2 sets each. And then 2 all in the final set, so it went to that black ball shootout, which I believe, I actually don't even know. Did Adam win that? I think Adam actually won it.
I think Adam won that. But yeah, I mean, this was before the 6 red shootout was really a thing. So I'm just wondering if he's thinking about playing the left edge of the red as we see here into the yellow and then banking off that into the red over the hole. I'm just wondering what sort of advantage you stand to gain from playing at the shot that way.
Yeah,
it's almost like he's looking at it that way though.
You can play it aggressively or you can play it as more of a delicate shot. Oh, okay, so you actually could get through.
He hasn't really gotten good pos on this other red though, unfortunately.
Well, to be honest, the only pocket it goes in is the bottom right, and he's basically going to be on that line now. So he just wants to stun this ball as far away from that top rail as he can, and just leave himself the thin cut on the red.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one shot, so you have to back yourself a game, don't you?
He basically, I mean, it's pretty straight here. He basically wants the white on the green spot if we were playing snooker.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, that's as far to the middle of the table as you could get without snookering yourself. It must go the other way, though.
Yeah, it must do, yeah.
He's actually done an incredibly good job to get
Oh, no, it doesn't. He's going to play it off the yellow.
Billiard.
Yeah, so this you'd have a chance of this if the cue ball wasn't on the rail. That makes it a hell of a lot harder to control because he's got such a small target to hit with the tip of the cue.
Yeah, it's almost like it's swallowed by the rail, isn't it? With the small cue ball.
Well, what a shot.
Oh, brilliant. Get out of the way.
Oh, that's very, very unfortunate. Great shot from Adam Shaw.
You
We'll
rat.
stay with the overhead view for the double.
Well capable of these, though, isn't he?
And he probably deserves it, really, but he hasn't got it.
Well, roll or not, it did look like it napped into the right-hand side of the pocket, as we see, but it wasn't on target anyway.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. A couple of really good shots from Adam. And, chance for Healy.
See players missing a lot of doubles this week. I just wonder whether they're still thinking about the small cue ball and how to strike it, or whether they're just getting their angles wrong, or even if it's a shot that haven't practiced much. Just any one of those, the combination of those perhaps.
Healy wants to get to this bottom rail ideally. Tight on the bottom rail. Just like that. So now that gives him the shot to extract the yellow, knowing that he's going to land on the yellow to the right hand side of the table. So that's a really good shot from Healy.
Has to be careful he doesn't overhit this and involve the black, though.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. He just has to make full contact like that and can't really go wrong. So good shot from Healy. Two really good shots.
By which I mean not potting the black, because of course that's a loss of frame, but he's, as you said, he played it very well. He played it in a very controlled manner despite going hard into it.
Overrun slightly there, but shouldn't be a problem.
Always looks like it's going to miss when it goes in like that. I don't know why, but obviously it's a lot more comfortable from his perspective than we think it is.
Yeah, nice finish from Healy. Takes a 1-0 lead over Adam Shaw. It was a little bit unfortunate there, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, he was stiffed by that yellow, wasn't he? I mean, that's one of the worst bits of luck I've seen this weekend, because he played an absolutely brilliant cannon from pretty much on the rail, and then he's perfect on the black, and then the bloody messenger jumps in the way and saves it. So well done to Healy, though. He made the clearance.
Packed crowd here at the Richmond club.
Should be.
I don't know.
Might be the loser's side of the draw, but these guys are both winners.
There might be a few.
There's a Robocop walking past.
You can see what I mean about that pixelating camera.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's still better than nothing, though.
That's why we're just using it as a crowd view, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Healy White to break, second frame.
Just wonder what he's looking to do with the break here.
So no short rack, but he is using the 9-ball cue to break.
Well, that's what I do too. Yeah. I mean, I use a Sharky, but he uses a 9-ball cue as well.
So red into the corner.
Yeah, you're real funny, Jordan.
I think he'll be watching. He'll be wanting the yellows here.
Well, he's got a good one to the bottom right pocket, and then he's got pretty natural angle on that for the one near the bulk line. So those are that's the biggest problem, I'd say, at the moment, because the rest of them are all fairly close together. So okay, you keep your work close. If you get this one and get good position, then you can keep the rest of your work close.
Yeah, I think if he gets this one and leaves himself on basically a shot on this one over the pocket, then the finish all sort of maps itself out, really. Just has to be a little bit careful with the one next to the black. I like coming all the way across here to the other rail, not trying to come too far down the table. Like that, but a little bit further. Although this plant must be on.
But it's a bit of much of a muchness, that, isn't it? It's obviously this view shows, it's dead on.
Yeah, so that's a good shot from Healy, that last one. controlled that nice, and now he's going to eliminate that problem ball next to the black.
He's very good at that plant, isn't he? I've noticed him play a number of good plants actually.
You'll be able to see from this side view as well that the bottom yellow does pass that red as well to the bottom corner as we're looking.
So you take the one over the hole now and try and get back for that sort of middle ball of those three there.
Yeah, I mean you can be anywhere really. You just don't want to be too low, so he doesn't want to be low of that bottom yellow, because then he has to actually play a shot.
Around.
Yeah, you give yourself options if you split them. So you see how he's just a touch low. So now he's got to really play a shot here and dig into this, and basically he wants to sit the cue ball in between the red and the black, but he actually has to. You see how he's not in line with the yellow, so the white's running away from him. He's sort of fighting it here. Or he could run into it, but again, this could go wrong though. See how it's gone wrong now? So again, just that last, the two shots previous was the loose one, just being an inch low of the line.
And then it forces him to sort of take an extra 2 inches, and then he ends up being what? How many inches out of pos do you reckon he is here? It's
Well, you don't want to.
You
don't want to have to move balls if you don't have to. Obviously, sometimes you have to, but. Oh wow!
Tried for the cut. He tried for the cut. He missed it. It must not have been a big miss.
It's pretty thin.
That's extremely thin.
So he'll be disappointed there, because he did everything right. He got right into the balls, and then he's just come off, just screwed that ball back a little bit short.
I'm surprised he didn't try to double that. I'm sure the double was on. He's a good doubler. I know he's a good fine cutter, but he's a good doubler as well. So maybe he just got a bit gun shy with what Adam did in the previous frame.
What's going on here?
I think he's just saying to us, watch where you're leaning.
No, I think he's saying that he touched the cue ball with his tip.
Well, which is a foul. You can use your cue, but you cannot use your tip. Yeah, just the thing with these rolls, if you're positioning the cue ball with the ball in hand, you cannot use your cue tip, but you can use the barrel of your cue. Or sorry,
he's calling a foul for moving the white with his tip.
If you use your tip, if you actually use your tip, it is a foul. If
Can you guys clarify if he's used his tip?
You get the overhead shot.
Yeah. See if it's fair or what's up.
Can we rewind?
I don't know. Where's ball? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to get a clarification on this, because Adam says no, I didn't use my tip. Healy's dead right. If he has used his tip, it is a foul, but we don't know for sure whether he did use his tip. To be honest, it wasn't something we were looking at. We were kind of looking at where he was mapping.
I did mention in that first frame Healy's a stickler for the rules when we were removing the shot rack.
Well, this is an English game. English people are generally sticklers for rules anyway, aren't they? I'm going to try and rewind this if we can. So, okay. Yeah, I think Adam's just showing him there. He was trying to drag it back with his cue, like so, instead of using his tip. His tip didn't actually come into contact with the ball.
Well, not the playing part of his tip has not touched it. Maybe the side of the tip, if you know what I mean, where the ferrule is. But he hasn't pushed it with the tip head or anything like that. I mean, just get on with the game, really. I don't know. Like I said, there is a lot at stake for these guys.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to show what actually happened. Now,
I'm sure when we do rewind, when we find Paul, do we have the ability to switch between the camera angles? Because I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it from this angle the way we were watching it. You see?
Yeah, I mean he's in the way, isn't he?
His head's in the way, so
that would be the next thing you'd add to the stream, wouldn't it? I mean, the stream's really good as it is, but boy, a replay feature would be so good.
Well, we'll get there, John. Daryl's equipment is improving with every tournament.
Yeah, massive thanks need to go to Daryl actually, and also to Paul Shivers.
Well, we're getting on with it. We're getting on with the game.
Also to Paul Shivers for donating his time to us to run this stream and for all the work he does for that. I mean, top work.
Common sense has prevailed. We're getting on with the game.
I do like this. I know Healy's. He thought he had a beef there.
I mean,
maybe he did.
Adam's not getting an advantage, is he? Even if he does touch it with his tip, it's not like he was feathering the cue ball. He was playing a shot.
He wasn't in the act of playing a shot, was he?
Yeah. So
obviously, when you're playing golf, it's a different story, which both of these guys do. If you actually touch the ball when you're addressing it, then that's a shot. But Adam wasn't actually trying to address the shot. He was just moving the cue ball to where he wanted to, and quite often players do that with their cues so they can stay in that same line of the shot. They don't have to walk back around and then stand back in line again to play the shot.
He's a bit in between here, Adam. He could go either way here. So he's going to come down for the ball on the bottom rail. Just doesn't want to land straight. No, that's perfect. So he's got options now.
You reckon he'll be trying to go between the... No, he's not.
Aiming for the black. He could go in for the black, or he could come all the way around. Play it like a 9-ball shot. It's a good shot. Look at that. Perfect.
Well, he came here as a 9-ball player,
so
didn't he?
The beauty of that shot is the speed. He's taking the pace out of the equation. Like, it doesn't matter if he falls, a few inches short of where he is now, which is actually perfect, or if he runs another, foot through, he's still on the same line of the shot. So he's just picked the line, and he's like I say, he's taking the pace out of the equation, and it's just drop in here into the right, and then he might just run through for the black into the left centre.
It looks like he's jacking up to stun.
Oh no, he could stun it easy.
Oh, good work, Tara. Thankfully, what happened with yours, it ended up coming true, as in no foul was
okay,
called.
so if Tara can rewind it without us stopping the stream, which I wasn't sure that you did, then I'm assuming that someone out in the arena, one of the many fans watching, probably just did that on their camera. Although Healy's throwing balls around like he's not happy, so
he just
maybe
needs to forget about it.
He needs to settle himself here.
He needs to forget about it. Is what
maybe
he really needs to do. Whether it's a foul or not, the frame's finished. Just
maybe Mike Hayes just made
one.
the decision as tournament controller, and then maybe there was no replay.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you're in the heat of the moment. You want to, but any advantage you can gain fairly, you want to. But this kind of crosses that little line. I mean, I know that people will watching and say, well, if he has used his tip, then yes, it's a foul. But I mean, how many players are going to call you for it?
Also, it's technically probably not in the rules that you can use technology to go backwards to make a decision. I mean, I suppose if both players agree, you can.
You should be able to.
But I don't think
you
it's.
should be able
I mean,
to if it's there.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because you can tell definitively whether
something's
happened.
but it's definitely not in the written rules.
Well, maybe it should be written into the rules if technology is there that it should be able to be used. And I don't know whether players should need to consent to it being used. I mean, that's obviously a question for the near future.
So Healy taking reds here. That was off Adam's dry break.
Yeah, I mean, a dish against the break would be the best way of expunging that last frame.
So I don't think he was planning to play for that red that he just landed on there, because he probably would have wanted it where it was to land on after this extraction that he's going to play now. Still does have that red near the black though, to land on like that.
Hasn't quite gotten on the one he wanted to. It may cut actually.
Yeah, no,
I would be playing it if it cuts.
Well, I think it goes into this bottom right pocket as well, that red. So
true.
He could come back for that one later. That could be his last red now.
Because the black's in a reasonably handy spot for it, right?
Yeah. So he might come down table here.
Who was that?
John.
Yeah, so he just wants to go through the gap between the red and the yellows here, and then basically leave himself as straight as he can on this red. A little bit tricky with the awkward queuing. Just gotta make sure he passes the red. And stop. No, that's good.
That's
yeah.
all right.
He might have a little bit of an angle.
Looks pretty straight to me. If it's straight's fine, you just draw straight back.
Draw back as far as you can. Oh no, he couldn't, so he's had to go forward, and that's a fantastic shot. How's your look?
Get away from the yellow.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, that's a very good shot. Great cueing from Healy.
He just has to pace this in, doesn't he? Just play the right pace. Just make sure you pot it though.
Just gotta make
Make
sure
pot.
the pot really. The only way he's not gonna have a shot on the 8 is if he goes too far. So yeah, and that's a nice finish from Adam's dry break.
Channel that anger into something useful, just like this. That's how you do it. Win the next frame. Healy White 2-1 up. Cheers, Tara. Yeah, no, the reason why players use the tip of their, not the tip of their cue, but their cue to move the ball instead of actually using their hand often is because they can remain in the same line as the shot they're about to play. So they can stand back and they're still in the line of the shot rather than placing the ball down and they have to sort of walk half a table perhaps to get back in line. So they stay sort of more in the moment, if that makes sense. Go down the yellow.
So dry break for Healy this time. Gives Adam a chance to steal that serve back. And he's going to have a very good chance here on the yellows. Just has to work his way around this bottom left corner.
Well, what he does have as a possibility when he gets to it is the fact that those two yellows that aren't over the pocket are spaced far enough apart. You can slide a cue ball in between and then play a plant on one and extract the other one.
Well, no, the shot I like actually, John, is he's not going to play it, I don't think, but playing well, he can still play it here, but play the yellow into the red to push the red out of the way.
And then
So
bank
that-
off the red into
Yeah, and then
yellow.
and then the yellow will come off the red. He's played it nicely, so it doesn't even matter. But the only thing that could have really gone wrong with this clearance is if the plant he just played now, if that yellow went and hit itself behind the red. But he's played it really, really nicely. So don't need to overcomplicate it now. They're all pretty much drop-ins.
Yeah, that shot could have gone wrong too, couldn't it? You could have involved the red and being behind the yellow. You could have stuck behind the yellow, but he picked a line, stuck with it, and cued it well. Now, as you said, this looks reasonably simple now. It's always simple up here, though, isn't it?
I mean, he's probably just the wrong side of this yellow into the middle, so he's going to have to probably screw back to around where that black spot is if he can. If you're nitpicking, or he can just go this way instead. Like, there's so many options. That's the problem sometimes with 8-ball, and that's why these finishes sometimes go wrong, because you can see it. Look at Adam, in his body language.
Yeah,
he's got so many options. He just doesn't know which one to go.
He's kind of doing half and quarter circles around the table, isn't he? I think.
And now he's almost out of position. He's actually a bit awkward here.
Well, if he plays this just slightly harder than. I mean, actually, this is not as straight as I thought it was. You might be right here. You might have to take the one to the left.
I still like the stop shot on the one in the centre, to be honest, and then you take the one into the corner. If he goes, he's looking at the right shot here, because he doesn't have to play a shot. He's just got to make 2 pots. Whereas if he took the one into the corner now, he has to play a positional shot. So this is a harder shot than he would have liked to have in the situation that he's in, but you'd still back him all day long.
Oh, definitely. He just needs to make sure he pots it and doesn't involve the red too much.
Yeah, and everything's natural, you see. So He tried his best to overcomplicate that finish, but I think he's looks like he's going to get it in the end.
Big pocket from that angle, so
We talk
really simple black. Down it goes, so gets that frame back, 2 each. Both of those last 2 frames against the serve too.
Yeah, we talk about how important the break is. I mean, look at that. If Healy gets the ball off the break there, they're absolute Mary Ploppins. And it's a dry break, and it's Adam that runs the rack out. So at this level, with the calibre of these players, it really, really just comes down to that look of the break sometimes. Even in these long races.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily get some momentum swings, can't you? It's like tennis, how you have the serve, you expect to win when you have the serve, but when you don't, it's a massive boon to the other player. They feel almost like they've won 2 points instead of 1. It's like you've won 2 frames instead of 1 if your opponent breaks, they dry a break, and then you clear. Because you expect to be at a disadvantage if you don't break.
Lost the cue ball. Oh, he's got
got
lucky.
lucky.
Very lucky. And it's a little bit messy.
Did get a ball, so successful in that regard. Look at where the back ended up.
The reason we're
It
saying
got kicked, didn't it?
like he's got lucky there because he's actually just screwed the cue ball directly in off, so it's actually a bad break. Obviously the yellows come round and saved him. It's a bit different when you break off and you hit it really nicely and then a ball comes and kicks the cue ball in the pocket. That's just obviously the pool gods against you. So what do you do here, John?
I'd probably stick to basics here and take this red that he's aiming at now.
Establish the set, yeah.
Just make sure you get a set and then work out what you're going to do.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be attacking here, but then you never
I
know.
think
He is quite aggressive, and he's left himself an angle actually here to
It's just whether
get
that
into
yellow
the rules. Into the red.
There's that
Yeah.
yellow, the yellow that's in bulk, that's to the left of that corner pocket on the right. If that gets in the way, he's done okay. He's
Still got a lot of
landed
work to
slightly
do.
ugly there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do here. And with these rules, you know, if you push the boat out, you've got to get them. You get to a stage like this, look at Healy's yellows. So if he doesn't get them, he's in trouble now. Don't think he has the angle here. I think he's got too much angle, so he can't go into the red and the yellow. Oh, yeah, I don't even know if you can cut that in.
It's cuttable, but it's very
It
tight.
actually looks even thinner on this one.
You'd have to go to H&M and buy the skinny jeans for that one. Rob Stone, that's one for you, buddy.
I mean, if he tries to cut this one in, he's bringing the in off into play, isn't he? So,
are you looking at the one bottom middle pocket?
Yeah, I think he's playing the. I mean, he might try and. Is he going to try and double this into the top left corner?
Or try and get a cover on those yellows, yeah.
Well, they don't go at the moment, the way they are, so he's played the double.
This looks
He's
real
not far
good.
enough. Good effort.
That looked money in transit, didn't it? Love it when players play those shots, eh?
Now, do these two yellows pass to the right corner? I don't think they do. I don't think that top yellow
No,
goes.
it doesn't. Not even with a small cue ball. He might be able to go into them here.
And he can do, but he's missed the pot.
That was his chance right there. And now this red that's next to the yellow in the middle of the table looks like it passes.
Yeah, and he probably has to take that one first, I think. So he's just one good long shot away from having a glorious opportunity to go 3-2.
No, it never looked likely, did it?
He's got a little bit of coverage.
Well, Healy's got opportunities here to. I mean, he can possibly, if he can cut this thin enough, the one to the left middle, that he can extract possibly that yellow at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, but what's he going to do? You don't want to move that yellow because what's he going to do with the yellow at the
he's
top?
going the other way. You're going to try and move the red out the way.
Yeah, so that's okay.
He's a bit unlucky. It might still be in the way.
Well, the clearance is not there for Healy anyway because of the yellow at the top left. So He's going to screw into it now. But again, I kind of feel if he goes aggressive here, he's sort of just digging his hole deeper and deeper. So.
Oh, he's going to do the same thing here. Look at this. He is going aggressively, but he's doing it in a different way. He's using the pen to stab somebody, not the sword.
He's got a good angle here actually, because he can get back out as well to any these balls in the centre table. So he just wants to go rail. Is he going to go rail first and into the red?
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now then, can he play the yellow off the red?
The one bottom left.
He looks dead straight. He looks dead straight on this. So yellow off the red, it'll completely open the pocket. Oh, that's beautiful, Healy White.
Get out of the way.
Oh, very unlucky. Again, same as Adam Shaw in that first frame.
Mate, why?
It's still there, but he's actually got quite a tough shot now.
Those hurt, eh? Just they hurt watching them.
I'm not sure.
It's such a good shot otherwise.
I don't know if he can get back to the yellow in the middle. I think he's maybe has to go to the yellow passing the black. I know he's tried to force it.
Yeah, it generally doesn't work with this game, unfortunately.
That's actually really unlucky.
It is, and he tried his absolute damnedest to get back into that, despite the bad luck. But I mean, they're unforgiving if you're even a millimetre off at that pace. That's not fantastic. A bit of touch required here.
Yeah, Jordan, I was looking at that shot as well. Maybe he had a little bit too much angle. But yeah, you can't really criticise the way he went in the end. He did everything right. He just got a little bit unlucky.
Sometimes that's all it is too, isn't it? It's just that bit of bad luck. I mean, you do everything else right. You get the pot, you move the ball, and you say, oh, you should control where that ball goes. But I mean, you're kind of throwing it open to everything, and for it to sit in one place and bugger you up is more bad luck than anything.
Okay, so what has Adam got here? So he can go to the left bottom corner and screw off the rail above the black, or he can screw this one probably back to not quite as far as where it is now. He had a bit of an angle. Interesting.
This looks straight.
Yeah, this is not ideal.
He wanted, or either angle would have been fine here. Either angle was workable, but it's straight, so he almost either has to manufacture it if he can, or he has to play for a double to get the cue ball.
He's
maybe
definitely going forwards, isn't he? Yeah, it's so hard to control that. He's hit that really nice. I'm not sure if he's got it.
No, he's blocked.
What do you reckon, John?
No, I reckon he's half hooked himself here. You can see the left edge.
No, he's
or
got
now
down
the right
pretty
edge.
quickly. He's got down quickly, so that suggests that he's on it.
Oh, look out!
Oh no, Adam Shaw.
Blake Bernard, are you watching?
Yeah, that's true. That was Blake Bernard's shot from the North-South match last year.
Oh, that'll sting for a lot of people, that won't it?
Yeah, that'll be tough on Healy, particularly the way that Healy went about that frame as well. Like, the whole world was against him in that frame.
You look at the angry break. He's really pissed off.
Oh wow! And this frame might get interesting with the 8-ball here. So,
well, look at where the 8's gone.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So Healy has a lot more experience than Adam at the rules. Obviously playing in the Pocket Series. Not that he's a tactical player by any means, but these frames do get a little bit interesting when this happens, because obviously you can't get two shots. It's only ball in hand, so
that's a beautiful shot. He might just take the one out of bulk to screw back for the one in bulk, because it may not go to that top left pocket.
I think he wants to ideally be getting this yellow away from this corner before he takes all his soldiers off the battlefield.
What's he done there? Oh, he's going to play for a double.
Yeah, he's attacking.
Okay.
And again, if you look where Adam's 2 balls are down here, I mean, they're not in the worst positions ever, but that's why he's opting. If he gets this, it's pretty much the frame, isn't it? And that's a nice shot.
Look at this. He's just pinned his ears back completely here. He's going for everything.
Now, do you go forward here, John, or do you try and screw back? He doesn't want to hit it too hard because he doesn't want to hit the red. Oh, he's screwed back.
He tried to screw back with a trace of left, and it looked like the side didn't quite take as well as he wanted it to.
It's hard to commentate on Healy and call the shots because he's already playing the next shot before you get a chance to talk about it.
He's like, nah, well, you can't say anything bad about the shot I just played.
Yeah. Believe it or not, they're not actually playing with a 10-second shot clock, guys.
This is not the Town series. Ooh, now that red, that's leftmost red in bulk, must not be on. Otherwise, you'd be picking him to play it. Maybe it is now.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to attack though here, Adam. Especially where that yellow is at the top.
Maybe he's going to get
But
rid of his few and then.
Well, he's naturally
drop the
aggressive.
safety in.
He is naturally aggressive anyway.
So here now, I mean, I think the angle's too big for him to top through here and get either on that red at the bottom of your screen or even to maybe extract the one on the left rail. I don't think the angle's there. But he might have to just take his medicine here. Okay, he might be playing a snooker, is he?
He's playing the snooker, but I think he's trying to get his red out as well. So that's a good shot. That's a very good shot because the only thing he wants to do there is to block off the path to the yellow that's in the open, because if he'd have left the edge, obviously Healy would be able to extract his other yellow.
Does this go in off the back of the red? The one that's furthest in bulk?
I don't think so. I think it's a bit too far out.
Side view might help.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too far out, John, from that angle.
I think it goes. It's just that you have to hit the rail very early. Yeah, no, he missed the ball completely.
He tried to play that. I don't think that was on.
It was on, but it was very difficult and it was very hard to judge. I mean, to be fair to Healy, I mean, it's that situation where you didn't really have another shot. You had to go for something.
Yeah, Adam just has to map these out now. Well, he can't get on the one on the bottom now, so he's going to have to play for the other red into the middle after this. I think he's got too much angle. Unless you play it like that, of course.
That's actually beautifully played. He must have known that before he played it.
Yeah, it's really well controlled.
He's left himself nice and straight on the one to the middle. So there's no sweating on the cue ball.
And Adam Shaw is about to take a 4-2 lead.
I like this. There's no messing around either. They're all there to pot. Just pot them. It's very Healy like that.
There's the national champion in the background watching on.
There's
current
Super
League champion.
The bald eagle. He gets a chance to fly tomorrow, doesn't he? 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We will have the draw straight after these matches. So we're currently in the last 12, effectively. So we've got eight players playing now. The 4 players that are already in the quarterfinals, the way down the draw, so it's Des Wilcox at the top, Steve Denton, myself, Simon Singleton, and then Adam Lilly at the bottom of the draw. And the 4 winners from these matches will get randomly drawn into the quarterfinals, which is at 10 AM tomorrow. So scores around the room. Don't know if these have been updated, but it's Brent Wells 2, Kerry Michaelidis 2, Ryan King 3, Camellia Cook 2, and Mustafa Gold 2, Baden Jackson 2. Try and get those updated when we can, if they haven't already.
Again, Mustafa Gold, man. I know it's early doors, but you've got to be thinking, could he do the upset? He's already knocked off a few big players today.
I don't know.
Pull it off.
Tara's message saying any scores from the other tables. I'm hoping that she's maybe it's lagging. Or maybe she was still writing out the message when it was halfway through.
Maybe it was one of those, should I keep going or nah? We believe
huge. That's a huge break again.
Oh, that's massive. He's absolutely detonated that. How many kilotons of TNT is that?
let's have a look and get him out of the way.
You get someone to move that. Get someone official to do it. Don't. No, it's stuck on the ball. Don't muck around with it. Let's just ask Healy if it was okay. I think Healy's just
double check, triple check. But no, that's the right decision. Don't need to mark a ball for that. Okay, so obviously he's got this red on the rail, which is not ideal. Yellows look good as well, although I think the yellow that's tied to the red only passes into that top middle that we're looking at now, so does have to come around the back. So I think he's going to be taking, he'll probably take the one to the middle now, and then he'll play the one on the top right and come round for the yellow in the middle that's next to the red. And I think that's his map here.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get on that yellow that's tied up, then he's got that other yellow.
That's right.
In bulk.
Yeah, that's right, John.
So
So he's got two chances.
B.
Yeah, he's got two chances at this. He actually probably want a little bit more angle than this, but he should be okay just to float across. Yeah.
Still want to take it now?
Yeah, he has to take it now. Really, can't leave it.
You'd almost wonder whether playing with billiard off the red might be an option.
Very, very risky.
Or is that introducing too much risk?
Yeah, he's got a bit of angle, but he could. Yeah, he's not ideal here actually. He's a little bit in between, isn't he?
Yeah, no, I mean you don't know whether the 100% whether the cue ball's going to come off the bottom rail on your screen and then back up.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be soft. If he's playing it to the middle, I'd be soft screwing and trying to hit the rail on the right hand side just after the middle pocket.
It's almost like a control screw.
So he's just not dug into that enough, and he now has to find a pathway for the cue ball. A lot of traffic here.
Would you consider trying to dig into this, or is it too close to the rail and it's too much of a cut?
Too much of a cut. He's just got to make the pot here and hope for a gap. Or the issue is the red below the black there, as we're looking at the screen. So if he hits that full, then he could get lucky, and as long as he can see the yellow, he'll have a shot.
That's that bloody unit above the camera causing that to shake.
Yeah, so you see how he's hit it on the wrong side.
The black.
Yeah, he's hit. Oh, he might have got lucky here.
No, I think he's okay. I think he's good. Yeah, I reckon he's good here. He just again needs to make one pot, avoid that red on the right rail.
I don't think he can quite get to the potting angle here, John. He's having to play this with a lot of side spin, try and throw it in. Big shot. Oh, that's a great shot. He deserves a better look for that.
Oh, get out of the way!
Oh, he needs another one. That was a great shot.
Get
so hard to control that, throwing the ball like that over that distance.
You know what though? What I love about these
rules? Got to watch out for the in-off here in the same pocket.
Oh, you called it! Jeez, you just about did it too! I'm just wondering, with those shots, because of course you can't lose if you pot your opponent's ball playing that. So you wonder why you wouldn't just play it normally. If you pot the red, you pot the red.
But I think playing it the way he did makes the pot easier.
Oh, because
don't ask me why. I don't know the physics of that, but
because it's kind of gearing the ball towards the pocket with the spin, maybe. It's something that Greg Crowdis was talking to me about once when he plays with spin, especially with 9-ball. Don't ask me to explain it either. I'm just picking from my experience, and my experience is obviously a lot more limited compared to yours. But I know for me, unless I had to avoid something, I wouldn't dig into that.
Yeah, another good break from Healy.
I wonder how that anger's looking. Is he still fizzing?
Well, reds are the balls here because that yellow is a bit tricky in the centre of the table.
Well, doesn't have Camellia to tell him to take a chill pill either, because she's playing too. So he's just going to have to do that himself. Just find his centre again.
Yeah, the fifth frame on table 6 has gone to Baden Jackson, so he's 3-2 up on Mustafa Gul. For you watching Tara at home. Now, does Healy go twice across here and try to extract this? I think that's what he's tried.
It's not horrible, is it? Because he's still on something. I mean, the problem is your natural lines are all blocked off by yellows here. You could go forward, but you've got a yellow to the right of the red, and then you try to draw, and then you've got the two that are the next two to the right of the black spot.
But if the black goes to the bottom right, he doesn't actually have to do anything with that red next to the yellow, because it'll pass. He can leave that and the red above it for his last two balls, and it'll pass to this bottom left corner, and that'll get in position on the black.
I'm just
thinking ahead
position
here.
Off this ball here, bottom left of your screen. He might not even take it, you know.
Yeah, he might go
he's
forwards.
Kind of spurned it, hasn't he? He's like, no, I don't like that.
So he's going to go off the side rail here and easily land on the top rail, I think.
That's just pure curing that. It's so beautiful to watch when he's in full flow. Because he straps them, but it just looks effortless at the same time.
Does this black go, John?
Bottom right.
Yeah.
I say no, but I've been made out to be a liar before. Look out for
risky.
the...
Risky.
He's okay.
He is actually okay here because he can come down table, yeah, and have the red to the middle. He's still got some big shots to play here though.
Could play red bottom left now, but again that's going to be difficult.
But
He's
from
going to leave himself a difficult shot and then a difficult position.
From a queuing point of view, he wants to go this way because he can see the whole of the cue ball.
Oh, true. He's blocked by the jaw otherwise.
Oh, it's another big shot, but he's in no man's land.
Do fine cut this and hope for a kiss off that yellow that may be blocking the black. No, you can see an edge.
He's relying on a lot of luck here. He's due some luck though.
Oh, I thought that had gone in. I was actually surprised that it was still there. Obviously my eyes need looking at. Maybe that's why I lost today.
Ryan King has raced out to a 6-2 lead on Camellia Cook, table 2.
There's about 20, 25 people in that wee cluster that we can't see on the camera.
Oh yeah.
Right, so now what, Simon? You take the bottom of these three, or do you take the middle one?
I think again you can go anywhere you want. I mean, you can leave the yellow at the top of the table until last, and then that'll connect you to the black. Yeah, he wants to get above these two on the left as early as possible, like that. Although he's not landed ideal there.
Could re-establish that here though.
Yeah, because they're the two you want to get rid of, because these two. You see how he's identified that, because the two that are closest to the black there, he's just played one of them. He's got so many options off them balls to get the cue ball wherever he wants. So
yeah,
he played a really nice shot
on
there.
the left are the two that he doesn't have those options for.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a million ways you could go and it's all completely fine, but if you're trying to find the thing that could go wrong on a clearance that is, you would think, unmissable.
Otherwise routine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to get rid of your problems, don't you? So they don't become problems.
Well, you still got to just take them in the best way so that it stays simple. You don't overcomplicate it. Like now, look at this shot. He's got to actually play a really good shot here, like a really nice. He doesn't want to be too short. I mean, if he's really short, he gets away with it because he can take the yellow long. But he also doesn't want to overrun this. So you see how he's landed on the wrong side here. So he's going away from the black.
Yeah.
So it's not ideal.
Good point, isn't it? I mean, because he's running across the line of the position, and there's something that you always say is you play for lines, but you just want to stop on that line.
But from like a mental point of view, if Healy misses a red and leaves Adam with that yellow to play for the black, like he clears all day long. But in his head, he's probably thinking like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I've got to play this shot from the situation I was in, and now he's got a tougher black than he probably hoped for, and he's missed it."
That wasn't even in the same country.
And the reason for that is it's not that he's not missed that putt on the basis of like that it's a tougher putt. It's because in his head he's thinking, how am I here? Like, how have I got myself in this position?
Oh Jesus, that's always tricky. He's made it easier, to be fair, but boy, that's heart and mouth stuff sometimes. I think this has got to be a good shot, you know, Simon. He's made this hard.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't like that cannon. Aside from the fact he could have potted the 8, he's always going to leave himself a little bit more awkward on the red. But he's just got to. I mean, he's just got to make the pot. He wants to kind of get up around the black spot. Just make sure of the pot. He's got an angle, so he's going to come out naturally. Oh, wow.
Scrapped.
Yeah, good shot, Healy.
Scrapped.
He's played that like it's a 9-ball pocket.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big don't argue that, isn't it?
Yeah. What I do like about that though from Healy is he actually took his time, he took a deep breath, and he made his mind up how he was going to play the shot, and then he just went full-blooded at it. There was no doubt in it, you know?
Yeah, there was no half-heartedness in the shot. Sometimes you see with players, sometimes they're kind of caught in two minds, and the shot ends up being somewhere in the middle of the two they were thinking of.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. Maybe he's just
time. Maybe he's asking about shot time. So I know we play 30 seconds a shot in pocket series, but the actual official rules, official time clock for these rules is 45 seconds.
Well, what are they actually playing to here, though?
We're not really playing for a shot clock. Maybe that's what Healy was inquiring about potentially there.
Because Adam seems to be taking longer on his shots.
I know Adam's leading 5-3, but it'll be Adam that's a bit frustrated there after that last one. He kind of probably saw the finish line, and yeah, sometimes like the easiest finishes are sometimes the hardest. I know that sounds crazy.
Oh no.
Like say not. if Healy was on the finish and he missed and left Adam that yellow, was it? Then it wouldn't have been a problem. He could have done anything. He would have knocked it in, knocked the black in. But when you've left yourself that position from an seemingly like, you know, unlosable situation,
it hurts more.
Adam's basically battling the little voice in his head that's saying, "How the hell have I ended up here? Like, what are you doing?"
You know, it feels like a bigger punch to the gut too when you lose from there. Because you start to, as you say, you beat yourself up, and then you're not just playing your opponent, you're playing yourself too.
So given everything that just happened in that last, mind you, it's Adam at the table now, is it? Was that Adam's?
Yeah. It was his break and he was successful.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to say this is a big frame. Big frame for Healy.
Well, they all are worth the same on the scoreboard, aren't they? But they never are all worth the same in your head. Well, game's played in your head, isn't it? So if you can re-establish your lead after a frame you should have won, then that almost completely wipes the mistake and your slate ends up clean, so to speak.
Another huge break from Adam. Again, you look at these and you wonder what could go wrong. So he's just got to play one positional shot here.
Just talking about little guys who break big, and I mean Adam's one of those. He just times the pants off it.
Oh yeah,
Mustafa Gul's another one.
He's one of the best breakers in New Zealand, Adam Shaw for sure. Yeah,
it is a sure thing.
So I'm not sure if both of these yellows go into the middle. Looks like it probably does.
Yes, there's
in which
big
case,
little pockets from here.
Yeah, in which case it makes this finish even easier. Because he just has to take the two balls to the middle. And then screw back to kind of where he is now, maybe a little bit straighter on the one in the corner if he can. And then he'll take the yellow to the left corner and the black in the centre.
Fine or too? That's too far, isn't it?
See, I don't like him.
He wanted to be straighter on that.
I don't like him leaving the one in the middle.
He's going to have to go across the table if he doesn't play the one in the middle, and that always. Because if you go too far to the bottom of your screen, then you're leaving yourself a cut somewhere and not a straight shot.
You don't want to have this ball in the middle last. That's for sure. In my opinion, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So now he has to play a shot, and not only that, you know, the black doesn't pass to the natural pocket on the left bottom, so he has to then play a positional shot as well. So again, like we're talking about things that shouldn't go wrong here. Like you would back him 99 times out of 100 to get this, but he's just made it that little bit trickier by leaving that ball in the middle.
That he didn't finish the last time too, isn't
That's right, John.
You sure you'd think Lightning couldn't strike twice, right?
He's played this nice.
Whoa.
Needs to stop. Well, there you go, John, you see. Now things are a little bit trickier than they should have been again. I think he's got a little bit of an angle here. Can he punch across, or is he going to have to come forwards? Can he stun across? He's coming forwards here. He doesn't want to get a kick. Oh, he's played that nice. He's got away with it. He's played it nice.
I don't think he's gotten away with it. It's just because he's cued it well. He's made that shot his by the way he's cued it. He needs to dig into this hard here.
Yeah, got there in the end. Tried to make it a bit more difficult. He's on the hill.
Well, he wants to make sure that we're not commentating on routine stuff, right? I mean, if it's routine, it's boring sometimes.
This is well, yeah, but this is what I say all the time. Like, it really is a simple game. We just always overcomplicate it.
Oh, how true. Last chance saloon for Healy. Oh, Jesus, I heard that from here. That sounded like it hurt. Did he get a ball down?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, I see all that power and he dry broke. Can you believe it?
That's why short racks were invented, John.
Let's just bite, stir.
So he has to go reds here, I think.
Oh, agreed. Well, I mean, yeah, to take that one first, and you've got to be careful you don't get hung up in there. So he got hung up in there. I think he's just got to back himself to pot one of these. Well, take the long one on the left, maybe.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he was playing there for the one into the middle next, but I actually think it might do him a favour leaving that one up there.
Oops.
So the way he's played that suggests that red maybe didn't pass the yellow. We never looked at that, did we, John?
The one at the top of
no,
the screen,
the red and the yellow that were stuck together, because he played. I mean, unless he missed it by a foot, he was trying to play it off the other red, right?
It was hard to tell. I don't think it went, but I'm not so sure he was playing for the billiard. I think possibly he just missed it by some distance.
Now, what's Healy? I'm not sure if these yellows pass for Healy either, so no, I don't know about that one, even to the top left corner, so we might see our first safety shot of the match.
Well, it's the one on the bottom of it's the leftmost one on your screen you can see now. Whether maybe that goes... He could even take a pocket here, or he
could flick off the yellow on the left-hand side and pop the red, but... what's going on? I think maybe there Adam's questioning the time, because Healy called Adam on the time earlier.
Yeah, and he's saying,
so,
well, right, you're
so
beholden to the same rules.
So now you're not staying to the time. So fortunately, a little bit of friction in this match between the players from the start, really. Like I said, there's a lot at stake here. Healy didn't have the best North Islands, so he lost a lot of ranking points.
Yeah, I think it's starting to come home now to him, isn't it? He's kind of realising that there's more pressure on him to perform. Because he really wants to make that New Zealand team to play Aussie, and also the New Zealand team to go to Aussie next year. I mean,
I just feel like he's putting himself into trouble here. I don't know where he's going with this.
Well, you remember that the finish he made a few frames ago was...
Yeah, well, these balls don't go, John, down here.
He kind of made it up as he went, didn't he? And he ended up getting the finish. But it's just whether he can do it again.
Where's he going here?
Run out of magic.
What's his shot here?
Probably to get onto the yellow that's closest to the bottom rail that we can see.
How's he going to do that?
Yeah, good. Well, that's a good point. I mean, only he knows. Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, don't lose a game like that.
To be honest, John, if that black has covered the red, I don't think it has been. If it has, that's probably saved him.
I tell you what, it's still on here. Run this through. There's a
What song?
four-ball plant.
What are you watching?
Four-ball plant.
Really?
Yeah, yellow in the middle.
Oh wow.
To the red, to the yellow,
Shit.
off the red.
You might be right. Oh my god, you're right, John. What the hell?
What? He's making it up as he goes.
I quit.
No, don't. Please don't. Also, from a neutral point of view, please pot this. Let's just get some... The game's good enough as it is, but let's get some real excitement. Imagine if he gets this. How big is this? This would be the finish of the tournament, I reckon, if he gets this.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Healy White,
Yeah, boy.
you are a freak. That's absolutely unbelievable.
Come on. Oh, yes. So casual, too, with the black.
Okay.
That was amazing. Somebody please clip that.
I apologise, Healy White. I'll never tell you to play safe again.
Mate, that was worth the admission price alone if you had to pay to get in here.
That's definitely one for the highlight reel.
Because I was looking for you, because that pun, I was looking at that before, I was thinking, this is on, you know, if he hits it nice. It's just one of those that you're like, oh, there's a shot over here, it looks shit, but it's on.
That's insane. And to stay in the tournament as well. Like, tournament on the line. Unbelievable. Now, if Adam dry breaks here, which is very unlikely, the way he's hitting them.
Wait for it.
Oh, he's hit that
No,
bad.
he
Oh, he's got
got
away with it. Look at how much spin he had the cue ball. He's hit that so bad and he's got away with it.
Spread them to Israel and back too.
Oh, wow. So, if this yellow passes the red in the top corner,
I think it does, you know. He's
then
secured
Healy's
for it early.
in a world of hurt. Kind of hard to tell from that angle. We'll go up top. Oh, I think it goes. But you probably want to be straight in behind it.
Good call, Steve. You've known me too long. I think the opportunity is there to get onto that ball now. This is just off straight.
Yeah, he's just going to map these.
And he's got that second yellow that's near the black too as your next link.
Baden's gone 4-2 up on Mustafa. Camellia pulled a couple of frames back, trailing 6-4 to Ryan King. And Brent Wells, Kerry Michaelidis 4-3, Brent Wells.
Just wondering if he's maybe thinking about the two yellows at the bulkhead last.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, John, he doesn't want to leave this yellow down here. But I don't think it matters. I think he should go up to the top now. Because he can leave this yellow at the bottom till last.
I don't think he wants to though, because of all the reds there. I think he wants to take this now so he's not in trouble with the reds getting back to it.
Well, the reason I say that is because the last shot he played, he had the perfect opportunity to land dead straight where he's lining his cue up now for this yellow. Whereas now he's going to have to, like, you don't want to be playing like a thin cut on that yellow to pass the red. You want to be right in behind it.
I mean, here though, as long as he gets down there.
So I just can't believe that he's left himself that shot.
Well, I can't believe he played the shot that way. Maybe it was too much angle to play lots of top.
Okay, so what's he going to do here? This is awkward cueing as well. I actually
dig
think
in, come off the rail and try to get straight on the one.
I think he has to go to the right pocket, doesn't he, John? Past the red. No, he's going to go left.
No, he's going left. This is just horrible though. Look at the 8. The 8's almost laughing at him too.
I like the thin cut to the right here.
Well, you'd have to hit it extremely thin, wouldn't you? And you'd have to hit it thin, and you'd have to hope that you glance off the red so it's not in the way. Because if you hit the red too full, it bounces off the jaw and
Yeah,
sits
but
in the way.
the cue ball's going to be naturally going back over to that corner as well. I mean, either way, both shots are horrible. It's just which one do you want to go for? I feel like he's more guaranteed the pot going this way, so he's like, you know, good things could happen.
That's clean as a whistle,
that's a
man.
very good shot. That's a great shot, actually. And he's put the cue ball exactly where I thought he should have put it 2 shots ago when he could have gone this way.
You wonder if you
That's a
promote
great
your
shot.
luck sometimes when that goes in clean, but
Well, I mean, that's what he wanted.
If this is on enough, it doesn't matter.
He didn't want to flick. He didn't want to flick the red because then it might have covered the yellow. He's played that absolutely perfectly. Yeah.
Shot. Didn't even move the red. That's how on that was.
Yeah, well played, Adam Short.
There's a bit of friction in that game, but it was a very good match, though, wasn't it? 7-4
Yeah, very good
to
match.
Adam, so he will be playing tomorrow, and Healy unfortunately exits at this stage.
Yeah, massive shame that we're not seeing both of these guys in action tomorrow. 2 top players, 2 of the top 6 ranked players in the country. Like I said, they represented us in the Test match last year.
It all seems to be good between them now. There's a bit of joking and laughing and what have you.
Yeah, Healy will be disappointed.
He'll be gutted, but you know he'll come back after a few minutes and be like, well, you know what?
Who got Healy's first life?
I think the game went Hill. So if you click on him, you click on his name.
It was way back. Oh, Steve Denton.
Steve Denton.
Oh, yeah.
It was
on
on
the stream
stream
table.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe he just hates the stream
I mean,
table.
no shame in losing to Steve Denton and Adam Shaw.
To be fair, Steve is one of my biggest picks to win this.
Yeah, he's definitely playing like it's 2015.
That's exactly what I said when he was on stream. It's funny that. Yeah, so one game out of the 3-4 that we know of has gone final. Ryan King, Camellia Cook. It's 6-5 now to Ryan King.
Never ever.
Camellia was what, 6-2 down, was she?
Can we rotate the camera?
This is the pixelated. It's no good for
Really?
the table. Yeah.
Well,
Can we do anything?
can we do anything? You could.
Because it's the end of the day.
Can you swatch?
I can't. I'm not changing the main table cameras.
That's a no, Brittany kid.
Sorry, Brittany. You know what? We wanted that too. But
When are you coming out of retirement, Brittany? Not played for a while?
she's enjoying being a mum too much. Can you enjoy being a mum? I hope
Me?
you can. No, I'm talking to Brittany. I don't know, I've never been one.
Pixelated, we'd be on it. We'd be on that game. But it's not good quality.
Can we get a mirror?
What, so you can look at yourself all day?
If you get Des to step back a couple of metres, we can watch it off his forehead.
We're obviously here for the shit chat now.
Sam T, am I playing? No, I'm not playing Dunedin next weekend. Unfortunately, no, I'm not going to be there to defend my title. I'm going to the Champion of Champions with the small white the week after. So yeah, a bit too much chopping and changing with the cue ball. $20,000 to the winner in Australia. I think the winner next week will probably be about 500.
Any updates on Baden?
Yeah,
Baden
Baden's-
Jackson's 5-2 up at the moment.
Yeah,
over
just one-
Mustafa Gul, we believe.
Just won another frame, I think. And Brent Wells has gone 5-3 on Kerry Michaelidis.
There's another play that you never ever write out of contention is Kiri Michaelidis.
Very good player. Particularly with the small white as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the originals playing in Super League. Or, well, not one of the originals, but he was always a good champion of the Super League. And it's when it switched over to a small cue ball, he was one of the first people to sign up.
I'm going to stick my head out of the door, see what's going on.
Simon's going to play roving reporter for us. So, yeah, it is a bit of a shame that we can't get second table, but I mean, if it doesn't work very well for the camera, then I mean, you're probably just causing all sorts of seizures and problems
Yeah,
for
it's
people.
not a good viewing close up. I'm taking the camera home to have a look at it.
Ryan's just played a very nice shot. He's on his last yellow and the black to win the match. You can see him there on screen just getting down to play the yellow. Looks like he played it.
Looks like he might be either snookered or it's close.
Oh, he's overrun the cue ball. It's
Has
not
he
easy.
snookered himself?
He's basically got the black just above the black spot, and he's thin cutting it into, so he's worried about the in-off. He's gone for the double. He's missed.
He's tracking his
Camellia
eye.
Cook.
You're tracking his eyes, aren't you?
Yeah.
You wonder if at any point
The black has stayed in play, and Camille's got 6 reds on the table, so not easy.
You wonder if either of these two players know what we're trying to do here.
Can I have the microphone over here?
I haven't got
So
the
Camellia Cook playing a safety.
I hope you guys can hear that.
She's got the snooker. So walks away from the table. Ryan kicking at the black.
He's almost looking down at the ground like, please, please give me another shot. I know that situation, I've been in it before.
It's a foul. Ball in hand, Camellia.
Are the Reds looking good for a finish?
Yes, I would say, yeah, she's favourite to clear them for sure. There's one a little bit close to the rail, halfway down, but other than that, she's still got 6 reds left.
Well, this was the territory she was in playing against Brent Wells yesterday, wasn't it? When she made a big finish to win that match. This is quite similar.
I'm going to stick my neck out and say that she clears here for Hill.
Well, I mean, crowd will generally tell you. I mean, you've got a good crowd watching this game now, so they won't lie. I'll bet you anything as well that there'll be a sizable portion of this crowd going for Camellia to win this game.
Yeah, so she's with ball in hand. She's actually taken the tough red first down the rail. So they're all there now. She's going to pick them in the right order. She's missed. She's missed. She's missed.
She leaves the black
She's missed, and she's left like a thin cut on the black to the corner.
Situational question, I like that.
And Ryan
That
nails the black.
Yeah, I heard that go in actually.
Yeah. As you can tell by the crowd, it wasn't a crowd-pleasing result.
The crowd went mild, didn't it?
What's Brittany saying? Yeah, being a woman's a pretty full-time thing. Itching to play for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
enjoying it.
I don't really like the sound of babies cry. I don't think people do in general. I think it's hardwired for people not to like it.
Is it easier when you're on?
I don't have kids. I wouldn't know.
Oh, no, I don't know. It was more
Well,
of a
where was that going then? Oh, well, thanks. I just answered it.
That's why, I mean, I love kids, but that's why I have a family rafting business, because then you get to give them back at the end of the day. It's great. You just have them for the fun time. Feed them up on cookies and sugar, and then send them off with their parents.
And watch them.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So our second, should I say 6th quarter-finalist is Camellia Cook. I think those other scores are still correct. So Brentwell's 5, Kerry Michaelidis 3, and then
Camellia lost, man.
Sorry, yeah, Ryan. Ryan's got through, and Baden's still 5-2 up on Mustafa.
We were going to attempt it if it went to another frame.
Well, what about the ones in the distance, Paul?
We can't get to them. Can't reach them.
All this technology, and we don't have a zoom button.
It's just too far away.
And we don't have a rotatable camera.
Well, we've got rotatable.
If you look really, wait a sec. Right. If you look really closely at Desi's forehead, you can see table 6. The reflection.
You tell them to stand still.
Yeah, light get in the way.
Yeah, both games 5-3. So Mustafa Gull's got another frame, so 5-3 Baden Jackson. We told Des to stand still so we can watch table 6 off his forehead.
Are we on?
We're on,
Yes,
you're
it's
on.
on.
We're on. Yeah.
Alright, Adam Lilly here. I'm going to go out and just see if we can get Des Wilcox to stand in a certain position in the room, so you may be able to watch the other live stream table off the reflection of his bald head.
We've already said it. Yeah, we've just been talking about it.
Sorry, mate, you're about 15 minutes too late.
Tara Jackson.
So we still got 80 views. Another debate we've been having this week so far is whether Adam Lilly has an advantage playing with a mechanical arm because it stops him from shaking on the shot. What do you guys think at home? We've told him that there's no one from SEC here, so he doesn't need to wear
somebody
it.
just asked a question about it.
Which Sam's that?
Sam T, not 100% sure, sorry.
Just here for the ranking points. Here for some ranking points. Got my ranking points, now I can get knocked out.
But you're playing the best pool you've ever played with a small Y. Cute, isn't it?
Just dropping them in.
But that's what I've been telling you to do for years.
Goodbye.
I've only lost 5 frames.
Tara said hello, sweetheart. I don't know if she's talking to me, John, or you.
No, she's not.
Tell her I'll
She loves us, but not as much as she loves Baden or Adam, apparently. So
he's actually playing really, really well with his robotic arm.
Yeah, it's amazing though.
He's just keeping everything simple.
To be honest, I'd rather.
You know, I mean, it doesn't. He still knows how to line the balls up right, and he's still cueing with the other arm. But because he's being forced to keep it simple, he's actually playing better.
No, I think he'll be leaving that to the people who can dance, Cindy. Also, I'd rather not fracture my elbow, to be completely fair. As far as people asking, oh, is he playing better with a mechanical arm? I'd rather not fracture it in the first place.
Really?
Damn, that shit would hurt. I've never actually broken or fractured a bone in my body, and I don't intend to start now for an advantage.
I don't know how much it hurt if you were as drunk as Adam was that night. Probably didn't feel much.
No, that's true, isn't it? Drunk or sober, it's
it's
a sobering experience, though.
Yeah, I sobered up pretty quickly, I'm not going to lie. Okay, what's going on here?
You can see the lights above the table on the stream in front of you there, Kirk. There's 2 lights with the camera in between. So yeah, the lights are higher than over the rest of the table, but we've put a second light to add the.
Hi Ryan. Yes, we know you won. Well, it's not so much to make room for the camera, it's just so that we get a better top-down view of the table.
We've got to be that high, and the lights need to be not in the way. So yeah, it kind of is to make room for the camera.
Oh, true. Okay.
The camera, this one has to, I believe it's about 7.2 metres we have to be above the, something like that.
So that's not 7.2 metres.
There's something
3.2
maybe. Yeah, that might be it.
I'm just looking at the height of the players in the room. I think 3.2
might be
is a bit
3.2.
closer.
Sorry, John, but minimum that Daryl worked out. But yeah, and at Papanui the other week when we first did it, it was under what, as you could tell.
Yeah. And we ended up getting a view that was basically zoomed right in.
Yeah. There wouldn't be enough light from that height. There's only just enough light at the moment, Kirk. Daryl wants to add more light to the table. At the ends it's reasonably dark compared to the usual table.
Well, we're pretty much right at the end of our capabilities at the moment with that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We kind of need to maybe try a different way of putting the lights in. I don't know how it works. I'm going to leave that to the people who know what they're doing, which is not me. And so it's a bit unfortunate that we can't really see any of the other games going on, but hopefully these guys update their scores using Q-score as the frames are won, so that we can get an up-to-date view of it. So at least you guys know who's doing what using Q-score. What do you got, Simon?
6-3 Baden Jackson, and he actually has a chance for the match here.
Well, he's on a clearance.
Yeah, he's on a clearance.
How about Brent and Curry?
Same, 5-3. I don't know, how far does the microphone? I actually can't even see it from the door, it's too far away. So Baden's playing up right over the far right hand side of the room as you look at the camera, and we're on the far left in a little room.
So behind the camera on the left.
Behind the camera on the left, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're sequestered away from all the tables, which is good because otherwise everybody would be asking me to shut up.
Like at some venues we played in, John, that we can't, we're right there, aren't we?
Yeah, well, basically right on top of the game, so it was a bit of a shame because I had to be quiet, and I find that difficult to do.
Some of the venues are great now. We're going to setting us up in other rooms and other areas that are well away from the table, making way for us to run our cables. And
they're actually buying into the whole experience, aren't they? Yeah. They know that it's for the good. It's a funny one. I kind of get the same thing, Brittany, if I'm watching a stream, then either I want to be playing in that tournament or commentating on it. It's one of the two. I get it twice as bad. But I know you're itching to absolutely get back to the game. It's obviously as you pointed out, it's a situational thing with you. But hopefully you are able to pick a queue up and have a serious hit sometime soon. I'd love to see you back playing. What we need to do, Tara, is we need to get these USB microphones, and then we can walk out the door and we can actually watch the game and try to stand far enough away so we're not disrupting the players, but close enough so we can see the game and commentate from there.
Ones that I've talked about.
The one on the label, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason we're looking at lapel is more if we get into a snooker thing, we can put it on the referee.
Oh, okay, so the referee, you can hear what he's calling.
Yeah. So there's obviously lots of development going on in the background to make the stream even better.
Yeah, I mean, there's no stagnation here. It's all forward movement.
Just this week we've installed the new graphics input card, the CamLink Pro, which allows us to have 4 cameras. And Simon with an update.
Baden just missed his last red match ball and then blamed it on the crowd because I think we were talking too loudly. Yeah.
Really? You shouldn't be able to hear us from here.
No, the crowd.
Yeah, he's got big ears.
Of course.
And Kerry Michaelis has just won another frame, so now trailing 5-4 against Brent Wells. So Baden 6-3 and Mustafa on the run out to go 6-4.
This could be a very similar situation to the one that Huey had in that game, and that Mustafa comes up with a massive clearance and then you start to put the willies up your opponent when you do that, even though they're still on the hill.
Can't do that.
You can if you want to, you know.
You get into trouble doing that.
You do now, anyway.
Brent at the table, but it looks a bit tactical.
So thanks, Simon, for going out there giving us the roving reports.
It looks like he's enjoying himself far too much. When was this ever a serious business, though? That other voice you're hearing, by the way, is Paul Chivers, who's been here basically the whole Friday and today to help run this stream. So, as always, thank you very much, Paul, for all the service you put in, not just running this, but helping to set it up and getting it looking as good as this. So this is amazing.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it's obviously we couldn't do it without Daryl and the gear that he's buying for it. That's to be able to run, and I know that some of you don't like the ads on YouTube, but that does help us to improve our stream.
Yeah, the money we get from those ads actually goes back towards improving our stream. So yes, they're annoying, but they're a necessary annoyance for you guys later on.
Yeah.
It's an investment for the future, so to speak. But so you just hopefully...
Yeah, you know, every time we add a camera, there's another cost. Every time, like, you got to think there's the camera, there's the cable that we've got to run with it. Adding microphones, that sort of stuff. Replacing microphones when they get worn out. Replacing any gear when it gets worn out over time. It's going to, you know, updating our PC that runs this gear. All that sort of stuff. It costs money to keep bringing you quality streams.
Yeah, I mean, you get nothing for free today, so any bit of money that we get that goes towards this absolutely gets pumped back into making this the best experience that we can make it for you guys, because you can't be here in person, but you've given up your time to watch this on the stream, so for that you get commended and for that you get rewarded.
Brittany.
Oh, you're talking about Simon.
Yeah, that'll be exactly what she's talking
That's
about.
because he's a hot stepper, Brittany. At least he thinks he is, anyway. He thinks that his shit doesn't stink. No, I'm joshing. No, he's been a wonderful commentary partner, actually.
The other thing people don't see is the amount of setup that goes in before a tournament, not just for the stream, but in the room. Like Daryl and Mike and the team were here 4 o'clock on Thursday, for about 4 hours setting up, and like that included.
Oh, we've got an update.
We've got an update. Baden Jackson pots the black in the middle, great shot, little fist pump, and he is into tomorrow's quarterfinals. Brent Wells just missed the black to go 6-4 up, so Kerry at the table, 5 yellows all in play to bring that to 5 each.
Yeah, at what price does he finish that to go 5 each? Imagine that.
I think his favourite too.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the second big scare of the day for Wellesley. Just whether he can get through it.
He's still at the table.
Crowd slowly filtering off towards that game. Because now that you've got a game still being played, your crowd migrates to it. I'm going to see if we can get a view on that table, I think. Can't promise anything, but just bear with us, folks. Okay. Is that the furthest it goes? Yeah. No, Kirk, this is the last match of the day.
We're in.
And
We're in.
Yes. Hang on, you can change the.
Oh, was he going, Kerry? He's on the wrong side. What are you doing? Oh my God! What perfect timing. See, I knew we could do this.
We just need to change the names over, but Kerry's looked like his dog just died.
Oh, that was for 5 each as well. We're back. We're back, guys.
We just got to play.
Thank you to the 60 people that stayed with us to listen to us talk nonsense.
He's just got to play a good safety shot now. I reckon he runs off this about what? Maybe
two rails onto
ball.
the middle of the bottom rail. Yeah, JP Scott knows 2 cushions. Oh, he's talking about the pot. Madman.
What? Marker's double. You marker's double.
You could just touch up to it as well, maybe. If it's not frozen, of course.
They're not.
I think that's what he's doing.
Get a ref in. Get a referee to watch this.
What's he doing? Don't like this.
Just trying to play it.
Oh, that's a miss. That's a foul and a miss.
What did you say? 6-3?
Jesus, hear him, scare him, isn't it?
Nice check. We've literally got the perfect angle on this as well.
5-4 to Brent. Yeah.
Why did he come off it thin and just put the little white on the left-hand rail?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about that too. Maybe it's just an embarrassment of options from not a good shot. He's actually played a really good shot.
No, he has,
there.
but now Brent's going to play the shot that Kerry should have played, no? What's going on here?
Yeah, but it could pop off the rail though. If it's just off the rail,
it's hard
it
to
could
see.
pop off the rail and then end up with a cuttable chance.
Yeah, it's tricky. Paul, can you get us a different camera angle?
Don't push your luck, man. You're biting the hand that feeds you.
The best camera angle worked, and the camera's not the best.
He moved heaven and earth to get us this, man. What, do you want hell too?
What is he going to do here? He's going for it. He's going for it.
Oh.
Oh! What an effort! What a madman.
That's a Healy type shot, that.
Now then, King Kerry knocked this in for 5 each.
Right, how's your nerves? How's your nerves?
Oh,
no!
He
lifted. He lifted up.
He's worried too much about getting the cue ball up the table. He didn't need to. Just make the ball.
Just pop the damn thing. Don't worry about the cue ball if the blade goes in.
Brent Wells on the hill.
Brent. So that's sometimes you get in your own head with those shots. It's almost like it's a 90% to make it, but you're thinking about the 10% you'll miss it, and then you miss it and you end up bad anyway.
So yeah.
What's Brittany saying about my? It's talking about my shoes.
You did a wee dance on your way out.
Yeah, because my heels make noise, and it's loud. What's in my dreams?
Oh, something about you thinking that your shit didn't stink. I just made a silly comment about it.
Okay, what's Kerry got here?
Those did not break up very well.
That's why we invented shark racks.
Stir.
Although, I'm wondering if a tactical frame suits Kerry or Brent.
Probably, I'd say Brent.
Kerry.
Even though it might slow his dash to the finish line.
It's quite naturally attacking her, Kerry, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a good little stuff to that if Brent can play a good couple of tactical shots here and Kerry then kind of forces himself to do something, and that goes against what you
Those missed.
Oh, he's actually helped Kerry.
And he's looking like something weird happened there. He just took his eye off the pot, I think.
Daryl's watching at home, right? Just talking.
So he wants to get down to the top of the bottom of the table, sorry, as quick as he can.
Yeah, I do that too, Simon. Because it's the top of the screen, but it's the bottom of the table.
You had a good flick on that red there. It's okay if it goes to the middle.
If it goes to the corner as well. He's looking at the corner here. I don't think it goes because he's quickly moved away from it.
I'm wondering if the red that is closest to the black spot goes into the middle as well, or the right corner.
He's playing the punt here.
Where's the
cue ball?
Oh,
He's
he's
kicked
lost
it
the
out of
cue
the
ball.
hole.
Chance for the match for Brent Wells.
No, who's playing who?
Yeah, they would be doing the draw. I think it's just the push of a button on Q score, to be honest. And I think the players can play the same players who they just played in the winners qualification. So it is completely random.
I like this.
Yeah, it's a clever shot.
This is very similar to a couple of shots you played in your game when you played for you played the turnover shot and you put a really good snooker in. And I was just saying about how good it is when you use that turnover shot like that. So he's definitely going to buy himself a better shot here, unless Kerry can fluke one here.
Yeah, well, Kerry still has to hit a rail after contact, so he can't just roll up to these. He has to kind of do that. He wants to tie up a yellow. The only good thing he's kept his reds in play, but this is a glorious opportunity for Brent.
Well, these are all on, and control of the small cue ball is what's let him down, and it possibly has let him down here. Even though this yellow is onto that middle pocket, it still may make this a little harder than it should be.
I think he's okay here, John. I think
he's all back nicely.
He's all connect really nicely.
We're back online. He's going to cue through, is he?
Oh, he didn't want to do that.
Oh, yeah, you see him
has he
tap
played?
the table.
Has he played for that, or like has he played to nudge it towards the pocket, or has he tried to go round it? What do you reckon, John?
I think he played for the nudge, but he just didn't nudge it in the right place.
Why did he hit it so hard then?
Yeah, I mean, that's again inexperience with the small cue ball. I mean, in general, when you're going for a shot like that, you want to play it subtly and not try to plough into it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, Summit. We've done it before, and I think it is a good idea. I think the calendar's so jam-packed these days. I think there will be changes coming up. We haven't really had the numbers. Oh, he's missed.
Oh, that's harrowing.
We haven't had fantastic numbers the last couple of years since we took away the qualification process. So I think it's something that needs to be looked at. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not actually on the committee, so I don't get a say in what happens.
I think the best thing with the way this is laid out, Summit, is that you know exactly when you're playing and who you're playing.
Yeah, but
we
need more numbers, John.
We do, but hopefully this helps us get numbers in, because you can see how well run this is and how well it flows, and this is looking more and more attractive the more you see it. The more people see this, the more they want to play it. Oh, he made a rail. It might be in the way, but it's not what he wants.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, John. I think we're a bit in the middle with everything at the minute. Like lower entry fee to attract more players. That hasn't happened.
Well, I mean, we allowed a lot of time for people to enter this. I think the biggest problem is the fact that we don't have more of these tournaments in general, and then you don't have
good shot.
These tournaments all clustered next to each other, so you get an extended period of time.
Well, you need to get down to like the reasons why people are not playing. It's not because of the entry fee, obviously. Well, so why are people not playing?
So as soon as the match is finished, Mike will do that.
Yeah, the draw gets done straight after this, I think.
I just confirmed that with Mike.
Cheers, Paul. Not just good on the stream. He's a reporter when he wants to be.
That's just how I walk, Brittany, these days. On eggshells.
Is that because you think Polly might be listening?
No, just because I upset people.
Oh, I've heard that from other people.
Yeah, I agree, Summit. I agree, definitely. That's definitely a factor. If this was before Clubs New Zealand Nationals, you would automatically get more players because they're already in that city, wherever it may be.
Well, it's tried to play tactical there. He's kind of hamstrung himself though because he's left that second red on the rail, and Brent can just go up to the table and even maybe try to snooker behind the black perhaps, or if he doesn't get a snooker on the black, he only leaves the red that's covering the yellow and forces.
It's hard to tell, isn't it, John? Paul's being selfish and he won't get us a better camera angle.
I think he tried to play the turnover shot there.
He did, yeah.
And he didn't get it.
Okay, what does he do here? Just leave the double? Play this one, leave the double? Who's in the committee? Who is the committee? Michael Hayes, Graham Watson.
Adam Walker.
Technically Adam Shaw,
Not for long.
but not for long.
I haven't really been involved this year.
Daryl Chambers.
What else?
Huh?
Alex Stones.
Alex
I'm sure he
Stones.
is too.
Yeah.
I think
And not me, I'm not in the committee.
he makes a few good suggestions, but unfortunately he doesn't have power to enforce those.
Who's that?
Talking about Simon.
Oh,
I mean, some of the ideas you've got are brilliant. It's just whether you can get them enforced or whether they're feasible for the time that you want them in.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's
trying
a
to.
good point.
I
We'll
think a
just
few
put it
people
to
have.
you guys.
Yeah, a few people. I mean, there's 68 people watching. Why are you not playing? So,
Hello.
a few people are saying that they're scared of the white ball. They don't like the small white.
I'm
Which,
not the,
yeah,
I'm
I mean-
not the flashest on small ball. I
Summit,
play-
we have absolutely no idea what the prize money is or the distribution. Find out tomorrow, I suppose.
The upshot of all of this, Kerry's still in the game. One ball in the black. Oh, that's beautiful. It just
God,
needs
Brent
to
will
make one more good
Brent will
shot.
be wondering how he lost this frame. Oh, we're still going.
Yes.
You get to hear us for another 5 or 10 minutes, guaranteed.
And we look at the.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Time,
Anyone else
8.
watching? Why are you not here playing? Let us know.
17 minutes.
Be honest. We can take it. We want to get it. We want to get it right, and we want to suit everyone, right? We want to appeal to everyone.
We
so.
want to do as much as we can for as many people as we can. And maybe the fact that it's in Christchurch as well. I mean, I know it's central to...
Yeah, but the
places
Christchurch
in
players
North
haven't
Island.
entered, John.
Oh, that's true as well.
There's no Christchurch players. Most of the players are from out of town. And Alan Cowan had 150 players or something a couple of weeks ago.
160.
Yeah,
And
there you
many
go.
of those travelled from places like Waimea to play.
Some of these rules are terrible, even worse than Clubs NZ. Need to change to world rules or something that the rest of the world. These are world rules.
These are essentially world rules.
Huh? No, these are world rules. These are this is American 8-ball. This is the rules that we play on the 9 foots. The only thing that's different is what's the only rule that's different from American 8-ball in this? A couple like off the breaking rule, off the break, something like that.
Oh, the safety shot. You can call a safety shot.
Safe, yeah. Yeah, I think that's another factor, Terry. Couldn't get the Friday off work, but then it's catch-22 because you do it over 2 days and you get 80 players. So, yeah, that's definitely would be a factor as well. Jay Scott too
Work.
far away. Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere, unfortunately. Only be in one place. Inflation, internet rates, no transparency of prize money schedule. Yeah, I think the schedule was transparent, Summit. I'm not sure about the prize money.
Well, I mean, people like money, right? But you play more for the title than the money, and I still think this is no. Just because you won shitloads, but
You put 10 grand first prize up and you watch them come out of the woodwork, John.
okay, well that's a fair point.
They'd all be here.
That's a fair point, and maybe that's just me as a commentator and not as a
Find out with the
co-player.
sponsor.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm Yeah, I mean the title means a lot as well, but you can guarantee you'd have a lot more top players here if the prize money was big, right? Because that's what it used to be like.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so many people have entered this event in the past because they want that exposure playing these roles, or they want to. It's almost like an entry into these roles. I know it's a fairly big cauldron to go into, but you need to start somewhere. You need to get blooded somewhere. It'd just be good to see more of those players come back. And in the area that we're playing in Christchurch, for example, we need more support from the local players.
I think we'll naturally see more people play this after we've had teams at the World Championships, because people will want to play in that, naturally, you would think. Because once we join the WEPF, we can have players playing every year in the World Championships, wherever it is. So if we have 60, 70, 80 players going to Australia next year, then people are going to want to be a part of that in the future. Okay. Kerry's got a good chance here.
Kerry's just moving on up here.
Raewyn, this game is played quite a lot and successfully in Taranaki area. Oh,
Kerry's jagged at it.
In New Plymouth and also in Hamilton. So they're probably the two areas. I know Stumpy tried to get it off the ground in Upper Hutt, but faced the opposition from the locals, I suppose. The CNZ.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's CNZ is too hard.
But it doesn't need to be a rivalry, you know. Like the players that are playing this are playing CNZ as well.
That comment you made earlier, Jordan, I think you bang on too. So many people are afraid of change and what it will do to what they love.
Yeah, but I don't go, like, you don't get players going to play 9-ball and saying, oh, I want to use a 2-inch white ball. Like, the game's the game. You just embrace it and you enjoy it, and it is what it is, right? It's the same for all of us.
That's how it should be, but that's not how people perceive it to be.
There's so much culture.
You can't force people to think the same way. Oh, you wouldn't believe it!
Is that a good result?
Gee, I thought he potted that. Ashley,
love the rules on the small white, but time off work, flights, accommodation, etc. is too much. Yeah, to possibly play two games.
You're actually
I
bang
agree.
on too,
Yeah.
Ashley. I completely get your point.
That's one thing I will say. Like, there was a year that we had. There was a year that
he's
we
mushed
played.
everything.
There was a year that we played over 3 days with 64 players, and we played 8 in a section, rest to 7. Was it Adam? Because you were in my section on day 1, and then we played double elimination from day 2 onwards. So we did both. And it was like the most pool I've ever played in my life.
Was this 2019 Nationals?
It was the year that I played Adam in the final, I think.
2019.
Yeah,
2019.
I remember at the time we'll just see if Brent gets
Hang on,
this.
yeah, we're actually talking our way through a good finish here.
Oh, good shot.
This ought to be curtains, just needs to apply the finishing touch.
Yeah, well done, Brent.
Oh, he
nice.
chicken winged it, but it's still
big
within.
win. Yeah, big win. 7-5. Yeah, no, back to the... Yeah, I remember being frustrated that year at the time because I'd just come through playing 20 matches in Dunedin, raced to 8 to qualify, and then I had to play section play again when I got to Nationals. So I was kind of like, what the hell? Like, it's just section play. But looking back, like we literally had more players then, and we did section play day 1 and then did 2 days of double elimination, still long races, and we had plenty of time. So even though this schedule this week with the breaks and knowing exactly what time you're playing is great, you know, people want to play pool, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the point. Back to your point, Ashley, you don't exactly want to come here, lose 2 games, and then go off home. Like, you could end up being eliminated on Friday, and then
plus as well, John,
for what?
Don't forget, like, you've got 16, 20 top players here, so 16 or 20 of the, you know, weaker players, if you want to call it that, are guaranteed a tough draw, right? Because it's seeded. So, you know, unless there's an upset, they're actually coming for 1 game after that, if you know what I mean. For the 2 life system, it's really difficult.
Yeah,
it's difficult to justify it.
Yeah, because they don't, and there's a low chance of them actually winning that game too. So what you end up doing is that unfortunately, they get disheartened, don't they? They lose.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they played well or not, they lost. They don't get to play anymore. That's why I think this tournament that Michael organised on the side is really good, because it kept players here.
Yeah. I think it's really, like, it's important that people, you know, because the Super League committee from the very start have always been prepared to try something new or to adjust, and we've basically done every format there is possible, right?
Yeah, you started two-shot and then you went to black ball. And
yeah,
then
with
you
the
went
rules,
to
but
now
with the,
international
like, remember the
rules.
first 2 years it was just straight knockout, and players were coming for a race to 11 straight knockout.
Yeah, and then they'd
players.
lose and
then they were gone.
go
But
home.
so the committee and whoever's in charge has always been prepared to give the people what they want. But I think that more people need to speak up and say, well, this is why I've not come. This is what I think, because ultimately, like, we need to find something that suits the majority, right?
True, and the more people you get in the discussion, the better better discussions you get.
Yeah.
And you end up finding a common theme at one point, that people want this or that, but if they don't say anything,
Yeah.
we never know.
And
We're not
like
mind readers.
all of this is not a criticism at the committee or any individuals. It's almost a
human life.
it's almost a criticism of the players who are not here for not telling us why you're not here, you know, so that you can get it right, you know, because obviously your diehard players or your players who are your top players, or your players who are looking to play in that test team or are aware of the World Championships, they're going to be here. But for everybody else, of course, they're not playing reds and yellows week in, week out, small white.
They don't have
and the
access.
calendar's so busy, people can
Yeah.
only get so much time off work, it's expensive. So how do we get them over another tournament, or how do we entice them? It's important that they give us their opinion and we go from there, right?
True. You don't ever, I mean, you don't really want to take too much away from CNZ, because you've always maintained that the two can coexist, right? But at the same time,
But it's not a competition with
it's not a
CNZ.
well, the CNZ obviously attracts a lot more in terms of players and tournaments and so on, but it's always good if you're able to make them coexist more harmoniously, but then you end up running into issues with conflicting dates and conflicting tournaments, and there's never enough time. But there's got to be a way that you can actually find the players who are genuinely willing to perhaps move over to play this if they
But
want to play
I think that's the
this.
wrong attitude, John, because I play Clubs New Zealand. Like, nobody, it's
I
not
know,
it's not a choice. It's
I'm
not.
just kind of clutching at straws.
there's
Here, just trying
no-
to think of what people might want. Some people might want to do.
But there isn't one single small white player in New Zealand. Every single player at this
They're all
tournament plays Clubs New
converted to
Zealand.
it.
No, we all play both.
Well, they had to get themselves used to the small white, because it was never a thing until. I mean, I remember when Des Blair tried to get this going here, 30 years ago, and met with opposition, and it kind of failed.
That's why he laughs at me.
Well, so it's a bit
It's
of a
like
shame, because
history repeating
he had
itself.
I mean, the dude had a great idea back then, but it's just a shame that we never actually got any further with it. But we've got the chance now. It's just we need to find out how we can make this better for all the players who want to play in it, and not take away from anything else.
Well, the whole purpose of the Super League from the start was to find the best 64 players in New Zealand, get them playing for the biggest money in New Zealand, in the longest races, to find the number one player. That was the outline, or the whatever you would call it, the company.
That was the I mean, that was the go.
That was
it?
what it was about, and then obviously from that it grew, and we wanted to give players more pool and I think the Super League always kind of wanted to get away from section play, simply because that's what every other tournament is, right?
Yeah.
But if that's what people love, then that's what people love. And I think when you lose the qualification process from the regions, like we have, you've essentially taken that section play away completely, haven't you? So should we then have that section play here this week? Because I used to be opposed to the section play, because I played section play in Otago to be here.
almost everybody that I talked to just during or after that 2019 Super League Nationals tournament did not like the section play, and it was just because you're like, oh, why are we doing it again? It was the same gripe that you originally had, but what you've got is, I mean, it's kind of like you get a second bite at it with section play, and then you get your two life double elimination. I mean, you get to play more pool, and you actually get to get better at the game, and even if you don't do so well on the first day, I mean, you might get drawn a tough draw, but you've played a lot of pool to get there, so you know that it's all on you.
Yeah,
because you didn't do so well.
I know everyone wants to win, obviously, but everyone has different expectations, I suppose. But ultimately, everyone wants to play a pool. That's why they're here.
Yeah,
so
you don't,
the more the
wins.
better. Shannon Stone. That's exactly what happened until recently. So we basically had 8 different regions around the country, and each the problem with that is that every region did something different, but that would frustrate some of us. Like in Otago, we actually opened it up to open entry. So there was one year where we had like 35 players. So I had to do 7-hour round trip from Queenstown to play 34 race to 8s to qualify for this event because I couldn't get a wild card. So obviously that was quite frustrating for me when I knew that regions in the North Island were just picking 8 players or whatever,
16s,
or whatever they were doing. But in theory, that was exactly what it was designed to be. A regional tournament. Each region has 16 players. They all play a round robin race to 8. They all pay $250 for that, and then you'd have a bit of prize money for the winning players, but essentially the 2,000 of that prize money would come out of the region and go towards the nationals. So it was $2,000 a region. So that made the pot 16,000 before sponsorship. Yeah. So and then the top 8 from each region came here representing their team, which is another important thing. I know down in Otago, people want to be part of a team and part of something.
Yeah, it's almost tribalistic down there, isn't it?
Well, it's like
it sounds like a bad word, but it's true.
I think
they love the fact that they're great, they're gold and blue.
Well, last year when it changed, I think there was only me, Neil Worley, Glenn Spears, maybe Doug Stewart, so that we had 4 players. This year, I don't think there's a single player from Otago aside from myself out of Queenstown. I don't think there's a single player from Dunedin here, and we had 60, 70 players playing Tier 1, Tier 2 for 10 years of Super League to qualify for that top 8 to be here. And this year, open entry, half the entry fee, and we don't have a single player. So that tells me that, those players wanted to be a part of an Otago team. That was a big deal for them.
I think that's to be part of something other than just being in the tournament. They want to feel like they were here. Not just because they paid a bunch of money.
Because they've earned the right to be here.
Yes, exactly.
And they've qualified, yeah.
I mean, this discussion online that we're all having is great too. This is why we talk about this sort of stuff, because we want to hear what you guys think. I mean, we can talk until 12 a.m. if we wanted to.
It's like we're doing a little podcast, but you don't have to look at our faces.
Yeah. You don't have to gaze at our ugly mugs.
No, and the other thing is as well, doing it without the regions is you're losing I call them foot soldiers. So Baden Jackson's a prime example, where Baden lives in an area where he was in a situation like me where he didn't have a region playing weekly Super League. So Baden would have to.
Funny how you just mentioned him. He's just walked into the room.
Baden actually had to go out there, find another 15 players to form a league, to then turn up with 8 players. So there were players playing out of Manawatu who probably, they weren't just, they were only playing because they'd entered a qualification thing and then they'd done some sort of funding or whatever to be here. But so Baden basically would bring 7 players with him, whereas now obviously he's just coming on his own because it's open entry, and those other guys haven't been talked into coming, if you know what I mean.
Or maybe it's the same thing with Manawatu as it is with Otago. You feel like you don't earn the right to be here because you don't play the pre-games beforehand to get your top 8.
Yeah.
So you end up going and you think, well, I could have done this anywhere. I feel like I've not gained anything by not playing 16s down to 8s and the top 8 get here.
It's funny as well, John, because I got offers. I mean, like Baden, like I said, Baden was trying to get players together to play, and I had the opportunity to fly up to Wellington and then play out of Manawatu over one weekend instead of travelling to Dunedin 15 times. But I didn't want to come to Super League Nationals not representing Otago. I wanted to wear the Otago shirt. I didn't want to wear a Manawatu shirt. I don't live in the North Island. So that it meant something to me to wear that Otago shirt as well. And obviously the other players who are qualifying down there, I think it means a lot to them as well. And I feel like we've lost that from the event.
It is a shame, because it was like the same with Canterbury, I believe too. I know I was never really a part of that in terms of playing in the Super League, and maybe the first year.
You played in the Tier 1?
Well, I've played in Tier 1 before. I played in Tier 1 2015 and 2017, but I didn't qualify for the Nationals out of it because I didn't finish in the top 8. But had I qualified for the Nationals, then hell yeah, I would have been so excited to be there, because I felt like I'm good enough to be here. I've proven that I'm good enough to be here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you prove yourself by qualifying to be here?
And you also find that like you will then go and rally round those players when they're playing, whereas like, I mean, you know, I've known Glenn Spears, for example, for years now, but if Glenn's playing at the other side of the room this weekend, like I'm probably not going over there to watch, but when we came as an Otago team, we would all sort of rally round and support each other, so there was a bit more of a, even though it's a completely individual event, there was a bit more of that team feeling.
Well, what you'd get too is you get maybe one of you playing out of the 8, and you get maybe at least 5 more watching you, and you feel uplifted.
Yeah,
and you get your
definitely.
mates watching you, and a lot of people feel that way when they've got their loved ones watching them too. I mean, it just gives them that extra 5%. It's worth a lot.
Summit Monger, 128 players at 300 is 38. Yeah, it sounds good in theory, doesn't it? I don't think the entry fee puts people off. I think most of this field would probably have entered if it was still 250 because they like playing this game, and they want to play the Super League.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Levinista Classic, for example. Like, it's full every single year, people queuing up to get in, and that's the most expensive one to enter of the year, right, in Clubs New Zealand. It doesn't put people off.
No, it doesn't. I think it's also because it's just a fun weekend away, and also the reason why it gets so many entries is because it's over Easter.
Yeah.
They get 2 days off work anyway because it's Good Friday and Easter Monday, so they don't have to take time off work generally. Maybe the Thursday to get there. Apart from that, though, it doesn't cost you as much in terms of time lost. I mean, I know Baden's probably itching to get a word in here.
No, not too.
But did you feel? I just wanted to ask you that same question.
Yeah.
Did you feel more connected to Reds and Yellows game when you came to play in the Nationals as part of a Manawatu team?
Yeah, pretty much like what Simon says, really. I mean, obviously, I've only just come into the room just to see where Simon is, but
Just talking shit.
No, I mean, you've probably already said this, but what I think you've lost the grassroots growth possibility. We always had 64 players, and we had all those qualifiers to get down here, and yeah, we struggled with Manawatu, but at the end of the day, we still got them. The problem we had with Manawatu was, in the end, we had 8 players that wanted to come, and so we needed 16 in the league to play, to let those 8 come, and so there was people that didn't really want to play. They just turned up to help us out, so that we could qualify at our best 8. And it was really odd, but we're a bad example, but like Otago, I'm sure Simon's already said, they had about 30 players paying $250. Like, they had a massive following, and you've probably lost most of that Otago grassroots now at these rules. Canterbury had 3 tiers. I mean, this was all, like, they've took over from Brad. Brad set it all up. Brad got it all running. Brad got it to a point where it was going, and it was only going to get bigger, but he did the right thing for himself and handed the reins over, but it's not grown since then. In my opinion, I don't think it's grown since then. I think if anything, it's took a couple of steps backward. The Great Southern Knockout was brilliant. with the arena, I don't see why it would be any hardship to set up an arena for the TV table in here and make it that you're on the TV table. I've just asked the question who's on the TV table tomorrow, and we don't know yet. Mike Hayes is good. I mean, there's 4 great matches that you could have on.
Oh, the draw's been done.
Yeah.
Draw's already been done.
So the draw's been done. And there's 4 great matches to go on, but
So
Des Wilcox versus Brent Wells, Steve Denton, Adam Shaw, myself versus Ryan King, and Adam Lilly versus Bernard Jackson.
Jeez, there's 8 hot stiffers right there.
so they're your 4 quarterfinals tomorrow, and I'm going to see whether I can get. I think Des Wilcox, I think Steve Denton, I think Simon Singleton, and I think Baden Jackson. They'll be your 4 winners.
Got to back yourself, surely.
I always back myself.
Of course you do.
But I'm just happy to be there. So it's
It's a funny situation, that, isn't it? You're happy to be there, but you always back yourself.
Well, you back yourself, but yeah. Well, for me, it's been different. I've not had my queue out of the case for 9 weeks, and I've really scraped through to the Sunday. Steve played really well. He had a bit of run, but it was 9-8, and yeah, I've had a chance to win, and I queued a terrible ball in the decider. I've got another shot. I've got through. Mustafa's just played pretty well actually, but just not. I was better in the tactical frames, to be fair, which got me over the line. But yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Should be good. Should be good. Whoever wins it tomorrow is going to deserve it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually like having. It's good that you've actually come in here when you have, because you've kind of brought another dimension to this conversation we were having on why this hasn't gotten bigger than it has, and it's such a shame because this has got so much to offer. The potential is so big for this, but at the moment, and you're all right, it's not being realised. But the question is how best to get it.
I mean, you
realised.
can't criticise the committee for because they try, right? They try to they try to adapt. Like they tried to take away the regional thing because and lower the prize money because they thought they'd get more entries, right? That's the good thing about the Super League. Like CNZ is, CNZ Nationals is run the same way as it was probably 40 years ago, but like they are willing to change and adapt and try new things. But if it's not working, like the whole point of this conversation was to get people's opinions that are listening, because they're sat at home watching this and we're here playing. It's like, why are you not here, right? So that was the whole point of the conversation. We're not slagging anyone off here. We're just trying to find out reasons why,
Well, that's the simple question in the room. Actually, Cody Turner's just stood there watching the enemy match, and he come in and just says, Cody, I says, you want the best QC in New Zealand, mate? Why aren't you here, man?
Does it work?
And he went, because of work.
Yeah.
That's a simple thing, because of work. And I think what's happened is the calendar has just become so condensed that, and that's credit to Clubs New Zealand. People love them rules, and that's fantastic. But this is your gateway to international pool. And yes, the majority of Clubs New Zealand players aren't probably bothered about playing international rules and international pool, and that's fine. But I think there is room for 2. I've said it from day one. Don't try and get rid of Clubs New Zealand rules, because that's to detriment to the game. Keep it, but just try and find gaps and try and find a structure. And they're trying to be as transparent as they can be, and I think they are to a degree. We just need more delegates. I mean, I feel isolated in the North Island. I feel like everything almost happens in the South Island.
Look, this committee, they changed their focus to, like actually making the international thing happen, and they did that, right? Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like they did the whole point of what the Super League was about and what Brad was trying to do.
That was the original vision, wasn't it?
We had
getting teams
last
away
year,
to the rules.
and it was unbelievable, like set into playing. Like it was like, our own little Moscone Cup style thing. It was brilliant. So this committee's already been successful. Obviously, we're just talking about the fact that there's only 44 players here when the entry fee's halved. Why? I think the 3-day thing is a factor, but then, like I say, if you do this over Saturday, Sunday, you probably get 100 players or 80 players, because more people, have the.
And then you've not got enough time to play it, because you've got to play smaller races.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's
and then that takes away from
really tricky.
how good the games are.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
longer races make better poll.
I don't know.
There's no right or wrong answer, and it's hard. It's hard to know who to cater to. And like I said, the good thing about this committee is they are willing to stick their necks out and try something different or adjust things.
I think the sad thing as well, really, is that what I understand, and this isn't their fault, it's the rest of the world. We're trying to latch onto something. Now, 1 minute we've got WEPF rules, which obviously we came in with Brad and we played world rules, and it's great, the 2-shot rules. And there was so many that didn't like that and didn't like the change. And then all of a sudden, then we thought, well, every year World Championships, we want this to go. So every year from this side of the world's a nightmare. Even Australia struggle. To be fair, they never send their best team to the world. So then we thought, well, if we go black ball, then it's every 2 years. So we do black ball and we do that, and now.
Now I've
change the rules
changed it
again.
back to international rules.
It's hard for people to buy into something that keeps changing all the time.
Yeah, but these are the rules that would suit these are the rules that are closest to CNZ.
Yes, definitely.
One
Yeah,
shot,
definitely.
ball in hand.
Yeah,
yeah.
Always got to play your own ball.
Kirk's got a good point there. You need more exposure. The thing is, Kirk, there is regions. So Dunedin, Christchurch, New Plymouth and Hamilton all play weekly leagues at these rules. Like there is regions that are playing them. Like Dunedin is still playing like a Super League of a kind, just not a qualification one. It's at the wrong time of the year. Should be same weekend every year in Christchurch.
That was another thing I was just about to say. Could we play? There's a kind of calendar, isn't there, for pole? It roughly goes from April to what? Maybe the end of October.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christmas time in January.
New Zealand.
These.
Okay.
Or to play more tournaments of this kind, or more tournaments so that there's more reds and yellows being played, so people get used to it.
No, I do think the one in Auckland, I think we've done it twice, Summit. So we definitely did it in Auckland at the same venue, and I'm sure that we did it a different time in Christchurch, but in 2 different venues. So we had the Super League Nationals in Woolston on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Woolston, and then on the Sunday was the pre-national comp of Clubs New Zealand in Kashmir.
That was Kashmir.
Yeah, so it was in the same city. So we have done it. It has been like that at least twice before.
Yeah, Manurewa
it was in
2019.
Manurewa as well. Yeah, so where it was
that was
back
brilliant.
to back. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point because if it's in the same city, then that would work really good because everyone only has to travel once then.
And for some people, they only have to take 1 extra day off work.
Yeah.
And they're getting 2 massive tournaments in, Obviously the transition side is the big white, small white thing, but for a lot of people, it's a transition.
Yeah, but imagine
don't
being
really
on a
care
committee
about
and
that.
trying to set a calendar at the start of the year.
Well, it's a nightmare.
There's so many tournaments, there's no gaps, it's a nightmare.
The only thing we need to think about now is our funding. If you're going to get funding to go to the Worlds and things like that, you've got to time your funding right. Because running it so late in the year, funding has to be applied for normally before Christmas, and that's when people's budgets are in January, so then you find out whether it gets accepted.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Christmas is a big roadblock, isn't it, for a lot of people, because they're so stressed about having to pay money for Christmas presents and stuff at that time of the year, and then they don't have money around for anything else. There must be a rave going on somewhere.
I thought the chase was on.
We'll put the room on and see if Adam Lloyd's dancing. Oh, what?
We don't
I've gone blind!
In response to my opinion on what Edwin's saying, it's not always easy to put it in the main bar, a TV table, because of where you've got to run your commentators and your streaming gear too.
What's going on here?
Well, what you've got...
Bit of a tay-tay.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that you have to work around your locals for your club too. If you're holding it in a club, then your locals are your lifeblood of that club. If you do anything to annoy them, even if it is for just a weekend, then you lose a lot of money over the bar and a lot of money in the pokies.
It would be great though, like if we was in the main bar, because that place is pumping out there. It's so busy in the Richmond club.
But how many people give a flying stuff about the poll who they're not here for that? I'd love them to be here for that, but they're not here for that.
Yeah.
How many people know that this thing's happening out of there?
Is that really right, Kurt? Like, because Alex and that are... Like, has it really not been promoted? Like, I feel like I've seen it everywhere in the pro groups and stuff. Like,
promoted right from the...
That's the thing, though. It has to be. You have to be in poll groups.
Yeah. I don't know.
maybe if you made it that part accessible.
I mean,
to people
do
who aren't in the group.
people still look at posters on the wall in the pool section, like in the club, to find out about tournaments, or we're past that stage?
Yeah, a little bit, but you have to do a bit of both.
In Hawke's Bay they don't. It's all Facebook and email and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Facebook with the juniors. Maybe you need to go out to Snapchat, WhatsApp, all them things.
Or even Instagram.
Well, as bad as it sounds, or as sad as it sounds, like you still have to like chase people up, don't you? Like you have to babysit pool players. We're all terrible. Like I know that like Catherine does it with the snooker, and Bill Earl did before. Like
you do with the snooker.
I get a message on my phone like, oh, do you want to play next weekend? There's a tournament on. I'm like, oh yeah, go on then. So.
Well, we're a miserable bunch, aren't we? Though, because you could. Yeah, I am. Shush! Don't interrupt a person when he's making a mistake.
Yeah,
but
you're probably right, John.
That's the problem, though, is that you want stuff, and then you kind of play hard to get when it's offered. It's a tough one. But it's good to actually hear what people or read what people have to say. No doubt the committee are actually all seeing this. And
well, somebody's just turned around to me at the bar and said, "Why don't we get pockets in New Zealand? Why doesn't pockets get set up in New Zealand? There's so much money out there. Why can't you set up pockets tour for New Zealand players?"
Or have a few of their events
and I'll leave that
over
with
here.
You, because I'm going to go and get a drink because I deserve one. I'm going to sit pat on the back. I'm having a pint of Heineken and I'm going to bed.
That's life, isn't it?
I'm going home on the Venga bus in about half hour.
Don't injure yourself, please.
He's driving.
I'm driving.
He's driving the Venga bus.
Driving the bus.
You want a drink?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just about to head home myself, but I'm glad that people stayed on to listen to this, because
even though
it sounded like we were waffling, there was a genuine interest there. Thanks. It's not late enough yet.
There's a party one anyway.
But yeah, we'll just leave you guys with that. Thank you all for watching all the games today. There's plenty of pool tomorrow, so 10 AM it starts again, and we shall do it all over again. Good luck to Simon and the rest of the quarterfinalists.
Yes, cheers guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting and getting into a little bit of a debate there. Didn't expect that. I wasn't prepared for that, John.
Yeah, I know. It was funny how it worked that way.
We're live from about 10 to 10.
10 to 10. Cowboy time.
Right, ka kite, stay safe.